Hello and welcome to day 6 of 7 strategies in 7 days to not stress about people. And day 6 is all about making you happy. Whose responsibility is that? It's yours. There's a saying, I might not remember it exactly, but I can't remember even who said it. It'll come back to me in a minute. But there's a strategy is being happy. Do not place your happiness on things or other people. Place your happiness on achieving goals. Okay? And that's very much, if you expect other people to make you happy or things to make you happy, you will never be happy inside. You know, we can get a certain amount of pleasure when we get something new, shiny, bright and exciting. And you know, there will be people in our lives that will influence how we feel. But at the end of the day, it's your responsibility to make you happy. And when you are, you don't worry about other people. It's when you're not happy, we're going back to this primitive brain again, that kicks in and gets paranoid and stresses about how other people are doing things. But actually, when you look after yourself, you think in a different way. And you know, it's not an arrogant ignoring everybody else around you, not caring. It's nothing like that at all. It's just having a confidence, having an inner confidence that you're okay with you. So then you don't take other people's stresses on. And making you happy actually is about balancing your chemical level. You know, we are a melting pot of chemicals. We're 80%, well, they say we're 80% water, but actually we're 80% chemical. We're not just slushy water. There's whole loads of stuff in there, all sorts of things. And how your chemicals are balanced will determine how happy you are. And you need, there are 2 specific neurotransmitters, chemical messengers or hormones that you need for your own happiness. And the most important is serotonin. Okay, serotonin is your happy chemical. But what's more, what serotonin does is it motivates you, it makes you calmer, it makes you braver, it helps you cope with physical fear, it helps you cope with pain, it boosts your immune system, and it connects the neurons or the brain cells in your intellect. Serotonin helps you cope and makes you happy. Okay? So when this comes to stressing about other people, if you have sufficient levels of serotonin in your system, you are working off your intellect and you can cope with whatever people throw at you. So they just don't stress you out. You don't worry about it. You don't hang on to, if you've had a difficult conversation with somebody or somebody hasn't called you or I don't know, whatever it is, or something's gone wrong, or somebody's been annoying you at work. Actually, they won't be annoying you because you'll just be able to smile at them and go, oh no, it's just them. You know, you won't take it to heart. You won't take that annoyance on. You won't own that annoyance. You will just allow them to be them because you are working from your intellectual part of your brain. And it's serotonin that's putting you there. So it's your responsibility to create serotonin in your life. So how do you do that? Well, there's 3 main strategies to creating serotonin. One of them, positive thinking. Okay, it is necessary to think in a positive way. It's an evolutionary thing. You know, we had to think in a positive way back in those times. There's no point thinking, oh, there's no point going out hunting today. I'm not going to catch anything. Couldn't afford to think like that because you wouldn't. You'd die. And so, you know, you have to think positively. You have to believe that, you know, what you're doing is for a reason. You think positively of situations. You know, you don't think, if you're trapped by a polar bear in a cave, whatever, you're not going to think, oh, I'm going to die. You would just give up and die, wouldn't you? But you have to think, if you want to survive, you have to think positively. It's okay, how am I going to get out of this situation? So thinking positively actually, and you know, when you think in that situation, you think, okay, how am I going to get out of this situation in a cave with a polar bear? What you're doing when you think positively like that, you are creating serotonin. The serotonin is connecting the brain cells, which will come up with a solution. They'll all work together and come up with a solution. You need more than one brain cell to escape a polar bear. But that's basically what's going on from a physiological and neurological point of view. You think positively, you create serotonin. Serotonin connects your brain cells, and you think of solutions, and you think in a positive way, okay? And that intellectual way of thinking, you don't let other people stress you out when you're in that space in your brain, okay? So positive thinking. Positive interaction with other people. We're tribal. We need other people. You know, we're not very good on our own. We're not spiky. We don't have spiky things all over our body. We're not poisonous. We don't have any natural weapons particularly. We can't run very fast. You know, let's face it, we don't really have many natural defences. But what we do have is our strength in numbers. You know, we are meant to be pack animals. We're meant to be herding. We're meant to be tribal. And actually our strength is in communication. We have the most superior communication skills of any of the species. And that's why we are top of the food chain. You know, it's not because we're stronger or quicker, faster or have better weapons. It's because we can strategize and communicate, and most importantly, communicate. And so being with people is good for us, and being with people that make us happy is good for us. And when we do communicate, when we do work together with other people, we feel good about it. We create serotonin. Serotonin puts us on our intellectual part of our brain, and we get on well with other people. They don't stress us out. So actually, you know, being with people is good. It's good for you. Unfortunately, it's one of the things that these days is really going awry with it. You know, for all the good in the world that the internet brings us, and communications and our superior technology, one of the things that's going by the wayside is how easy, what it's creating is an ease with which we can be lonely. And being lonely isn't good. We don't survive very well on our own. We don't thrive. We can survive because we can order our food by the internet and it gets delivered to our door. I mean, technology is coming where our fridge can order our food for us and it arrives at the door. You know, technology is eliminating the physical need, or the practical need to be with people, should I say. But it's not eliminating, but it's also eliminating that emotional or physiological need we have to be with people, because there's a bigger picture going on, there's a greater thing going on, and that's the chemicals that you produce. Dopamine is another one we produce when we're with people that's really important for us. It's that reward neurotransmitter. So we do something again when it's good. We get a flood of dopamine. It's part of that evolutionary learning that this is a good thing to do. Being with people is one of the important ones you get there. Important producers of dopamine, but also serotonin. So take time out to be with people. It's easier and easier to withdraw into our cave and get lonely, but actually it's really bad for you, and it gets harder and harder to get out and see people. You have to put yourself with people. You have to find things. If you do live in a situation where you live alone, and perhaps you live isolated and you're in a different place and your family aren't around you, or perhaps you haven't got a big family, you might be isolated from your friends, or for whatever reason you found yourself fairly isolated and on your own. You have all the resources at your fingertips, the internet or whatever, to go out and put yourself with people, to seek out groups that have similar interests. And if you don't know what that is, you can search on the internet. There's a great website called Meetup, where it has lots of different groups that you can go and join, and people advertise in there because they want people to join, so they're really, really friendly. So you need to be with people, you need to socialise, you need to get out, and this is why things like, festivals and feasts have stood the test of time and maintain their popularity, because it's people coming together, and for whatever else happens, it's people feel good when they're together, and it creates a serotonin. They feel good because it's creating serotonin, right? Serotonin connects your brain cells, and you can think better and you can cope with people better, okay? Isolating yourself from somebody who is stressing you out probably isn't going to help, because it will be on your mind and it will drag you down. Communicating, and other people will give you ideas on how to deal with it and make you feel better, help you feel better about it. So be with people. So that's positive activity, positive thinking and positive interaction. And the third, have you guessed it? positive activity, doing stuff, achieving stuff. We get a boost of serotonin when we've achieved something. We get serotonin from doing any sort of physical exercise as well. As I said before, exercise isn't necessarily about the effect it has on your body, although that's important and a great side effect. Physical exercise is about the neurotransmitters you create, the neurotransmitters you're manufacturing in your body and your mind that keep you balanced and healthy. When you do physical exercise, not only are you creating serotonin that makes you feel good, connects the brain cells, you're creating endorphins, which are your natural opioids, your natural painkillers, and you're burning off adrenaline. You know, and our normal daily worries and all this stuff we're putting in our stress bucket, you've got to burn off that adrenaline you're creating at that time. Every time you worry about something, create anxiety, it gets converted into anxiety, goes in your stress bucket, and your adrenaline levels go up. Short bursts of running away from polar bears, fantastic. But your body can't cope with it in prolonged periods. It will start to cause all sorts of issues. I'm not going to go there right now. But adrenaline, basically, adrenaline is not good for you in your everyday life. You don't need it. And it will quash the serotonin. It will trump the serotonin. So you've got to burn off any adrenaline. And we all create it to a greater or lesser extent. Even from not doing anything will stress you out because you'll end up worrying about stuff you should do, or you haven't got anything to motivate you in your life. That's when our levels go right down, and we do fall down into that sort of depressed area when you can't be bothered to do anything because you haven't got enough serotonin. But also, you know, in our everyday life, we create a certain amount of adrenaline. We've got to burn it off. Now, adrenaline is the stuff that puts you in fight or flight mode. So if you're going into fight or flight, then the best thing you can do for yourself is run or fight. Now, I'm not suggesting you've got to go and run a marathon or start a brawl in the street, but doing some sort of physical exercise will have the same effect. It will burn off that adrenaline and create serotonin. Okay, so serotonin is the key. You create it. Positive thinking, positive interaction, and positive activity. Okay? Serotonin is what makes you feel good, what makes you happy. Okay? When you're happy and in a good place, you don't stress about other people. You can let the little niggles go. You don't let it get to you. You don't let them get to you. But it's your responsibility to go and create serotonin in your life, not somebody else's. So, go and create some serotonin, and tomorrow is the final day, day 7 of 7 strategies in 7 days to not stress about people. And tomorrow we're going to talk about saying no. Sounds simple, can be incredibly difficult, but I'll see you tomorrow. Go and create some serotonin.